Hello everyone and welcome to Simplex Cuisine. My name is Harper, if you did not know, and today I'm going to try to make for the first time in my life broccoli cheddar soup. Now the recipe I'm using is pretty simple, but honestly I just want to know if I can make Panera or Bread Co. I'm from St. Louis, so we call it St. Louis Bread Company, but of course it's internationally and nationally known as Panera. I'm going to try to replicate, or I'm going to try to make, or just have a slight resemblance of their broccoli cheddar soup because I love that stuff, even though it is terrible for me. So yeah, that's the real plan, of course. So with that, let us begin. So here are all the ingredients. As you can see, pretty easy. Everything looks the same except that this isn't actual chicken stock. Well, it is, but I use chicken bouillon, so hopefully that works out. And this is all half and half because I don't drink milk, but my mom does have half and half because she loves coffee. But that's really all. So yeah, let's go on. So I'm kind of running on a tight schedule, so I'll be probably multitasking the whole time I'll make this, but it should be okay. So more or less, let's begin by melting the tablespoon of butter. Okay, so butter melted and then onions in. Okay, and there we go. It smells, of course, amazing, as you know, butter infused vegetables usually smell. So with that being said, I'm also going to start making the roux too. So let's go over there and do that. Okay, so more butter, a whole fourth of a cup. So that's just gonna go down. A fun technique that I usually do is after the butter starts melting, I put down the heat all the way to low. So more or less it still retains the heat in the pan itself, but the butter does not burn or brown or whatever, which is always a great thing when you don't want, of course, to have brown butter. So fun fact there, you know, a little tip from me, a little Simplex Cuisine tip. Very easy tip, but sometimes people just have to know it because, you know, you don't know how to do things until somebody tells you, and it can be the most basic thing. People usually don't learn how to count 1, 2, 3 by themselves. They usually are told it. And then let us whisk in the flour. So, just making a roux, the most fun thing ever. And then the last bit. And hopefully you can actually see this. And we're just gonna cook this so it's less granule. More or less, just trying to cook the flour. Pretty easy, pretty simple. Just keep it going, not let it burn. Okay, so the roux is nice and great. Also, the onions are done, so you can still hear them a little bit, but the pan is off the burner, so everything should be okay. Oh, there goes the alarm. Okay, so let's gradually start pouring in the chicken stock. I'm starting with chicken stock and then milk, just because it kind of allows the milk to become flavorful faster. It's a bit of, you know, it's just more fun. Honestly, either way would be okay, but I'm just doing this way because I like it. But we're just gonna mix it up so everything combines before pouring in some more. And we're just more or less trying to thicken up the liquids with the roux and just keep it as just like beautiful, consistent mixture. And now we just start pouring in the cream. And then all at once because I get a little bit impatient after a while. Okay, so I'm just gonna allow that to come to a simmer and then we'll go to the next step. So yeah. So as it cooks, I'm also gonna just put in the celery, carrots, and onions. All these ingredients really are the, you'd say, vegetables that really allow the dish to become very flavorful. And if you put them in at the last couple of minutes, they make those the soup actually not as taste very well. I know I'm kind of going off the tracks, but I saw this great comment about it in the actual recipe, and I just wanted to implement that because I really wanted this to taste really good. So we're just gonna do that. So first things first, of course, are beautiful onions. I'm gonna, of course, block the camera for 1 second so I can get all these beautiful pieces of onion in because it's so yummy and it smells so good. That is done, and then of course the celery and the carrots. So just gonna pour that in. A piece of carrot just fell on the ground accidentally. I didn't buy actual florets, I just cut up regular baby carrots. So hopefully not florets, sorry, matchstick carrots. I just cut up baby carrots, so hopefully that doesn't, you know, destroy anything. But I'm just gonna mix that around, and then I'm gonna bring this to the simmer again and just, you know, let it cook for around 20 minutes or so, or until the actual mixture thickens up a little bit. So we are now around 8 minutes in. We're going, you know, it's going pretty well. It is Sebastian! Sorry, that's my dog. More or less, It is simmering nicely, which I really like. As a whole, I'm pretty happy with it. It's not cooking up yet, but I'm probably betting that'll happen in the next, like, 5 minutes or so. I'm gonna actually already just season it with salt and pepper. I just like, having the flavor already there and not freaking out about it later. So we're just gonna flavor it right now, try to keep it like that, and hopefully my little, you could say, adjustments won't destroy this dish. So yeah, okay, so it's been around 20 minutes. As you can probably see, everything looks pretty nice. It is now simmering. It looks pretty great. It doesn't look amazing, but it looked better than before. I have to actually say that I did put a little bit of water in here because I was worried that things were going to start burning. But more or less, it doesn't really have anything except the fact that, it looks a little more liquidy than before. So I just want to say that, put it out there. But after that, it looks pretty great. It smells pretty nice too. It doesn't smell like, amazing, but it doesn't smell bad either, which is always a good thing. So more or less, here is our broccoli, and then another 20 minutes for the broccoli to cook, and then cheese, and then we're done. So yeah. Okay, so here it is. I accidentally put a lot of pepper in it. I was trying to sift it out, and just a whole giant hill of it came out. So hopefully this doesn't taste terrible now, but more or less it looks really nice now. With the cheese it looks very, Panera style-ish. So let's just see how it tastes. My dog is doing something. He was sick yesterday. He was all adorable and quiet, and today he's just acting horrible because he is now well again. So of course he has to act like a little poo-poo. Okay, so let's try this out. Okay, number one, the pepper, I actually really like it. There's not a lot, it's not overbearing at all. As a whole, I was worried that this would taste like broccoli with cheese sauce in it. And it really doesn't. It really does taste like Panera's broccoli cheddar soup. The actual soup itself is very flavorful. Putting in the vegetables, beforehand that was a great idea because it really did infuse everything together really well. A little bit of the vegetables are a little they're not undercooked, but they're not completely overcooked. So it means they have a tiny bit of a little bit of give to it, which I really like. There's just a tiny bit of, oh, this isn't all the way completely cooked to a point where I can't anymore. It's not mushy, but it's not it could be a little bit more cooked, and that would make it, the perfect spot. But it actually does taste pretty great. It definitely is because I put a lot of, pepper in it. It's a little bit more, you could say, hotter or peppier English. More or less, it is more peppery than broccoli cheddar soup at Panera is, but honestly, it tastes really good. It tastes spot on, and it actually tastes a little bit more better. As a whole, I really like it. I think it tastes really good. I would give myself a 9 out of 10. If it had a little bit less pepper, just a tiny bit less pepper, only honestly pepper doesn't really do a lot, which is still good, but the aftertaste is a little bit oh, there's the pepper kicking in. But it doesn't taste anything bad. My dog has something in his mouth he's not supposed to have. And of course, the whole idea of the vegetables being a little bit underdone. After that, it tastes actually really good. Of course, if you want to use this recipe, I'll have a link below, just down below, so I'm gonna try it there. And that is really all. So of course, if you like this video, click like. If you want to see more from moi, just subscribe. I hope you have an amazing day. I will see you next time. And as usual, goodbye.